Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're looking into something, well, really fascinating and maybe a bit surprising about men's health, especially for guys over 60. What if, the very first sign that things are maybe declining health-wise isn't about memory or chest pain,
right?
But something much more personal, like a change in your sexual vitality, maybe a feeling of weakness or tightness, sometimes even like a strange cramp-like pressure. And the thing is, it's not just in your head. It could actually be a real signal from your blood vessels, a sign that, well, if you ignore it, it could slowly starve things from the inside out, compromise circulation.
Yeah, that starve your manhood idea is pretty stark, but it gets the point across about circulation being vital.
Exactly. And we're basing this discussion on the work of Dr. Mohit Kara. He's a medical doctor, a specialist in men's health with over 30 years of experience. You can find his insights on the YouTube channel, Life After 70.
A very credible source.
Definitely. So our mission, really, for this deep dive is to explore some natural, scientifically solid solutions. Things you might literally find in your refrigerator right now. Ways to maybe prevent these penile blood flow cramps, as the source calls them, restore circulation, get that feeling of strength back, but without needing meds or procedures.
Right.
And Dr. Carr even suggests one of these could make a difference, maybe even before the end of the week.
Yeah, and what I find really compelling about Dr. Kara's whole approach is how strongly he pushes back against that idea that, these issues are just inevitable.
Yeah.
Just part of getting older.
Right. It's just something you have to accept.
Exactly. He frames them as far more preventable than most men believe. And that's key. This isn't just about finding a quick fix, is it?
No.
It's about understanding what's actually happening biologically, why your body might be sending these signals. Because when you get that, you can make choices that actually address the root cause, not just the symptoms.
That makes sense. It shifts things.
It really does. It moves you from just passively accepting decline to, actively working towards renewal. It's empowering.
That's a great way to put it, an empowering shift.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get into Dr. Carr's specific approach. He talks about 3 powerhouse foods that can really help blood flow where it counts. What's the first one he brings up, and why that one?
Okay, so the first one might genuinely surprise you. It's beets.
Beets. Really? The vegetable.
Yeah, the humble beet. Dr. Kara calls it the circulation charger. And he apparently noticed a pattern, among his older patients.
Right.
The guys who regularly ate beets or drink beet juice, they were reporting noticeable improvements, things like firmer erections, better stamina, and importantly, less of that uncomfortable tightening sensation during arousal, that vascular tightness or circulatory discomfort he talks about.
That is fascinating. I wouldn't naturally connect beets with that. So what's the science? What makes beets work?
It's not just a coincidence. Beets are packed with natural nitrates.
Nitrates, okay.
And when you eat them, your body converts those nitrates into nitric oxide. Now, nitric oxide is, you could argue, your body's single most important molecule for good circulation.
Oh, okay. I've heard of nitric oxide.
Right. And here's the connection. After age 60, our natural production of nitric oxide tends to drop off, sometimes quite significantly. And that's often exactly when men start noticing those subtle changes. Sluggish arousal, erections maybe aren't as firm, or that weird tightness, almost like a cramp.
Right. The signals we talked about.
Exactly. It's not just getting old. It's a clear sign blood isn't getting where it needs to go as efficiently. So beets essentially help reverse that. They act like a natural pump primer.
I'm a primer. I like that.
Yeah, they help soften and expand blood vessels, making sure the penis gets the blood flow it needs to function more like it used to. Even just a small glass of beet juice or adding roasted beets to meals can start that repair process.
That's incredible. A simple vegetable acting as a pump primer. Makes you wonder what else is out there. Okay, so Dr. Kara mentioned 3 foods. Beets is number 1. What's next? What does the second one do?
Right, the second food is probably in your fridge right now, especially in summer. But most men apparently throw away the part that contains a compound that works, kind of similarly to some prescription ED meds.
Really? Without the side effects?
That's the idea.
Yeah.
And he says this one specifically helps soothe those tiny vascular spasms that can cause that deep discomfort during arousal. We're talking about watermelon.
Watermelon. Okay, that's less surprising than beets, maybe.
He calls it the blood flow booster. But here's the twist. For years, Dr. Carr admitted, like most of us, he just saw it as a refreshing treat.
Sure.
But digging deeper, he found the real power lies in a compound called citrulline. And get where it's most concentrated.
Uh-oh. Where?
in the white rind, the part we usually cut off and throw away.
No way, the white part, we always toss that.
Exactly, and that's where the magic is, apparently.
Okay, so how does this citrulline help with blood flow then?
Well, citrulline is what's known as a natural vasodilator.
Vasodilator, meaning it opens things up.
Precisely. It helps your blood vessels relax and widen, so blood can flow more freely, especially to, the penis. As men get older, particularly past 60, those vessels can get less flexible, maybe narrower, stiffer, which makes arousal feel, less spontaneous or maybe inconsistent, or it causes that dull pressure feeling.
All right, that tightness again.
Yeah. Citrulline encourages those vessels to just relax, reducing what Dr. Carr calls that circulatory discomfort or blood flow restriction. It's not usually a shark pain, more like a persistent tightness, a sign the body's struggling.
Yep.
And he shared a story, actually.
Yeah.
A patient in his late 60s started blending watermelon smoothies using both the red part and the white rind.
The whole thing. Okay.
Yeah. And within just 2 weeks, apparently, this guy reported stronger morning erections, which is a good sign. But also significantly less of that uncomfortable tension during intimacy. It just shows how the body can regulate itself if you give it the right stuff.
Wow. That's really powerful. Just from a watermelon smoothie, including the rind. Okay, so beets for nitric oxide, watermelon rind for citrulline. What's the third piece of the puzzle?
So the third food Dr. Cara highlights is something small, often overlooked. But he says it's absolutely packed with minerals. Your body, and specifically your penis, really needs to stay strong and responsive.
Okay.
He calls them the erection mineral mine, and they are pumpkin seeds.
Pumpkin seeds.
Oh, wow.
It's like the ones you get around Halloween. Or just regular ones?
Just regular, raw, unsalted pumpkin seeds. He seems to think if more men over 60 knew about these, it would make a huge difference.
Erection mineral mine, that definitely sticks in your head. So what are these minerals? How do they help?
Well, pumpkin seeds are kind of a triple threat. They're loaded with 3 key nutrients for this: magnesium, zinc, and arginine.
Okay, magnesium, zinc, arginine. Got it.
Right. Magnesium is really important for relaxing blood vessels. It helps prevent those spasms, the vascular cramping Dr. Carr mentions, that cause that tightness.
So it tackles the cramping feeling directly.
Just like it, yeah.
Yeah.
Then there's zinc. Zinc is crucial for maintaining healthy testosterone levels. And testosterone, as we know, is vital for libido, overall sexual health, especially as levels naturally dip with age.
Right. Important connection there.
And finally, arginine. That's an amino acid that your body uses to make more nitric oxide.
So it circles back to the nitric oxide like the beets.
Exactly. It provides another pathway to boost it, helping blood flow into the tissue. Dr. Cara mentioned another case, a retired Air Force vet, very disciplined guy in his 70s, came to him really frustrated by this persistent groin tension during intimacy. Started taking just a tablespoon of raw, unsalted pumpkin seeds every day.
Just a tablespoon.
Yep. And within 3 weeks, he reported the tension had faded noticeably, morning erections were back, and he just felt more himself again. Now, obviously, everyone's different. Results can vary. But these seeds are so easy to add in, Sprinkle them on oatmeal, put them in that watermelon smoothie.
Or just eat them plain.
Or just eat them plain as a snack. They provide that sort of foundational support for better, more consistent blood flow over time.
Okay, this is great. So we've got beets, watermelon with the rind, and pumpkin seeds. Each seems powerful. But Dr. Carr also talks about combining them, doesn't he? Like a synergistic effect?
He does. He calls it the circulation trifecta. And the idea is exactly that synergy. It's a compounding effect. The whole is greater than the sum of its parts.
How does that work, practically speaking?
Well, think of it like this. The beets kick things off, boosting nitric oxide, opening up those main highways, right? Creating the potential for better flow.
Laying the groundwork.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Then the watermelon comes in with the citrulline, and it works on those smaller pathways, those tiny penile arteries. It soothes them, helps them expand, reducing those spasms that can steal firmness.
Okay, targeting the smaller vessels.
Right. And then the pumpkin seeds are like the long-term fuel. They provide the zinc for testosterone support, the magnesium to keep vessels relaxed, and the arginine for ongoing nitric oxide production. They help make sure that increased blood flow actually translates into, tangible strength and responsiveness.
It's like building a system back up.
That's a perfect way to put it. Rebuilding a system from the ground up. Each food helps the next one work better. And Dr. Cara says he's seen men 60s, 70s, even early 80s who thought it was, game over.
Yeah.
Turn things around in weeks just by being consistent with this kind of simple nutritional approach. It's not about just forcing something with a pill. It's about giving your body what it needs to repair itself.
That really brings up an interesting point he makes, doesn't it? About why men often reach for medications first.
Yeah, and he explains that those meds often don't fix the underlying circulatory problem. They might work temporarily, but these foods, they're working to actually restore nitric oxide, improve vessel elasticity, get rid of that deep pressure or tightness. They're addressing the root cause.
He has that quote, "Your penis isn't broken, it's simply undernourished."
Exactly. It's about rebuilding from the inside out with the right nourishment.
That is such a powerful reframe. Nourishment, not just intervention. Okay, so for you listening, knowing all this, how do you actually put it into practice? Dr. Kara lays out a pretty simple 7-day plan. It starts in the morning, just one small glass of beet juice, preferably on an empty stomach. That gets the nitric oxide going right away, kind of wakes up your circulation.
Okay, simple enough.
Then maybe mid-morning, you make that watermelon smoothie. Remember to use both the red flesh and that white rind. Blend it all up. It's refreshing, and it's working on those smaller vessels.
Got it. Red and white.
And then, sometime in the afternoon, just grab a small handful of raw, unsalted pumpkin seeds.
Right.
Keep them nearby, maybe on the counter or in your desk. They're providing those essential minerals in the background.
Easy. Beet juice, watermelon smoothie, pumpkin seeds.
Yeah. And, of course, he emphasizes supporting this with the basics. Drink plenty of water throughout the day and try to get some gentle movement in. Doesn't have to be intense.
Right, the foundations.
Exactly. And it's not about being perfect on day one. It's just about consistency.
Right.
Building that rhythm. Your body responds to sustained support, not really magic bullets.
Absolutely. And Dr. Kara wraps up his message with something really quite profound, I think, especially for any man listening who's maybe in his 60s, 70s, or older. He says very directly, "You are not broken, you are not too old, and you have not missed your chance."
That's powerful.
It really is. He frames this whole journey as reclaiming a part of yourself, a part maybe the world, or even just time sort of told you to forget about. Because let's be honest, for a lot of men, when sexual vitality starts to fade, even subtly, it can feel like, well, like a quiet, private kind of grief.
Yeah, that's probably true. Something not often talked about.
Exactly. It's often unspoken, but it can weigh heavily, feeling like you're maybe disappearing a bit, not just to your partner, but maybe even to yourself. And he says, that's the time to act, not out of fear, but out of respect for the vital man you still are.
Respect for yourself.
Yes, because your body is capable of renewal, even now, even after years, even after telling yourself, well, maybe this is just how it is now. He insists pleasure, strength, connection, they're still yours for the claiming.
So if you, listening, thought this deep dive was just about food, maybe think again.
Yeah, you might only be seeing the surface. The truth about your body's ability to renew itself, it runs much deeper.
This isn't the end of the road. It could be a new beginning. You've still got time. You've still got strength and power just waiting there.
Waiting to be reclaimed. Go take it back.